Is there a quarterback controversy with the Giants?
No, there is not a controversy yet. I'm going to say yet. No, come on. This is Eli Manning's job. I think the bottom line with this whole situation is how the team plays. You always have this situation. You have a young guy. Team doesn't start really well. That's, to me, when the questions are going to start to arise. When is the right time to insert Daniel Jones for the future? But, no, I don't believe there's any controversy. I believe this is Eli's job. He will start the season, and he'll play well into the season until maybe there's some questions about where the team stands.
Okay, but making this transition, and eventually there will be a transition to Daniel Jones, because you wasted – well, you didn't waste. You spent a top 10 draft pick on him. So at some point you have to see what he can do on the football field. Try to troubleshoot this, Kurt. Where do you think we see maybe a transitional moment where the Giants find out what they have at quarterback?
I mean, I think the perfect scenario for the Giants is to play Eli Manning this year or however long that is until it's time for him to move on, and then you move to Daniel Jones. I don't think anybody wants to insert the young kid for Eli Manning in the middle of a season. I don't think that's the way they want to usher Eli Manning out. But like I said, a lot of it is going to depend on the pressure that comes when you're struggling as a football team, or if Eli is struggling to some degree, and then you have to fight that battle. And it's so different because you're talking about a Giants icon. You're not talking about a situation like I was in here so many years ago where I was a guy that was just keeping the spot warm until they felt it was time. This is a completely different situation that's a lot more sensitive than just, hey, first sign of anything, let's put Daniel Jones in. That's not how it's going to work. So I think the Giants would love to have Eli play 16 games and then be able to reassess it going into next year, so you don't have to make that sticky transition from the icon guy to the young guy.
Do you agree with the Giants that taking Daniel Jones, that was something that they had to do? They couldn't pass on this guy?
I don't believe it based on what I saw in college. I don't think he was a guy that a must-have type guy. Didn't possess certain things that you say, wow, this is a once in a lifetime type guy to get him at number 6. But a lot of that isn't determined yet. A lot of guys have to grow and become different guys when they get to the NFL than they were in college. But just based on what I saw, I wasn't necessarily wowed with his college tape to the point where I go, oh, this guy's a top 10 or a top 6 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, but it feels like the Giants are moving on, but they're still stuck in neutral here by having Eli out there, Kurt. I don't understand what they're doing. And as a fan of a team, all I would want to know is tell me what our game plan is, that we have one. And I don't know if the Giants have one. If you keep Eli in there for 1 year or 2 more years, you've gotten rid of Odell Beckham Jr. You got rid of some personalities there, and I have Saquon Barkley that I don't want to waste his good years in these seasons where we're going to struggle to win 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from. The problem just becomes how do you deal with Eli? Has he not earned the right to finish and kind of write his own ending if he can still play at a high level? If he's equal to or better than Daniel Jones, does he not deserve the right to be able to play that thing out? Or are you just saying, hey, we drafted this guy, doesn't matter whether he's the best guy or not, we're going to play him? I just think that's a sticky situation when you're talking about a giant Hall of Famer like Eli, a guy that spent so much and won 2 championships.
I know, and he's done well in the postseason. He's not a great regular season quarterback, and I don't know if he's going to have numbers where you're going to, keep the barbarians from the gate calling for him to be benched here. I think the Giants, it's a classy organization, but you can't put one player above everybody else in the future of this team. And either don't spend that draft pick, Kurt, or just say that Eli is our quarterback. One way or another, but I just don't think you can do both.
I completely understand where you're coming from. But like I said, I think this is just different. So many situations aren't like that because you don't have the incumbent guy that's been there so long and done so well and has meant so much to an organization. You usually don't have that. If you're going to get that guy that high, you've got more of a transition guy where it becomes easier to make that decision, or you're almost looking for the opportunity to make that decision and put the young guy in. I just don't know how you deal with that with a guy like Eli Manning. I don't think you can sit here and go, okay, let's wait for him to slip up and then throw Daniel Jones in. I just don't think it works that way with where the Giants are right now.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.